All right, here he is. Joining me now is Elijah Swift Smith, who picked up a UD win this past weekend at UFC Vegas 102 over Vince Morales in his UFC debut. Elijah, congrats on the win, man. What a performance. I was telling you, how tough Vince is before we started. I've interviewed him a bunch in the past. The guy is a very well-rounded fighter, and this is your debut. So to go in there and to get a win over someone like that, man, what does that do for your confidence? You must be feeling pretty good right now.
Yeah, it shows that. I mean, what it does for my confidence, it boosts my confidence, through the roof. Sometimes you kind of wonder, if you're actually as good or if you're good enough to actually be in the UFC. So to go out there and fight a guy like Vince and get a win, somebody who's had over 20 something fights, it shows that we belong.
How different was this fight than Contender Series? Obviously, it was in the Apex, right? But I have to imagine the feeling must have been a little bit different. How did it feel for you?
Yeah, I mean, nah, the feeling kind of it felt a little bit more natural this time around because uh just having a little things like on the Contender Series, you're not guaranteed a contract yet. Whereas like in the debut, you're kind of you kind of have that safe ground of being in the UFC for a little bit. Um, but yeah, the Contender Series, when you walk out, there's no music, there's no nothing. There isn't an introduction. Whereas this time around, you finally have your walkout song, so you can get into the flow. You have your the fight introduction, so it was a little bit more natural this time. So yeah, it wasn't as nerve wracking as the Contender Series because the Contender Series is a man, it's a pressure cooker,
Yeah,
definitely.
I can only imagine. Tell me, what was your confidence like before the judges rendered their decision? It was a close fight. I feel like a lot of people thought you won two of the three rounds, but like you never know with the judges nowadays, right? Like, how did you feel?
I felt like I did enough, especially on the damage part because you judge off of control and also damage. So I felt like the damage that I was able to create definitely overrode. Gave me the third round. But yeah, I was super confident. I felt like I did everything to get the decision, and yeah, I wasn't surprised.
I want
But
to ask.
you are right though. That, you never know what the judges, however they're feeling on certain days. So definitely.
Yeah, man. You see so many crazy decisions nowadays. It's just that it's wild. I never know what they're looking at. So hopefully, maybe something can change to kind of correct some of these wacky decisions in the future. I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you, man. I was watching the fight again, and I felt equally as sick to my stomach as I did the first time I watched it when you suffered that low blow in the first round. That looked
Mm.
absolutely miserable. What? How much did that affect you after you got back up in the first round?
Man, it changed because in the first round I felt like I was getting my flow. Like in the first I think the first minute I actually Vinci threw a jab and I slipped and I hit him with an uppercut and I was like, "Oh damn, okay, I'm finding my timing already. Let's go, let's get it." And then to have that happen, it was like, it felt like another reset. Like I had to refine my timing um with my punches and with my shots. But yeah, the ref I mean he did reiterate, take your time because you get into that moment of time where you get kicked in your crown jewels and you have 5 minutes. And in that 5 minutes, especially in the Apex, it's quiet. So you're like, damn, you want to get back to fighting, but you don't want to jump, you don't want to rush that process, give yourself some time to recover. So that's the only thing that was in my mind. I was like, Elijah, you know what? Take as much time as you need. You got 5 minutes, don't hop in there if you don't feel 100% ready. So yeah, but once we got back into it, I felt started to get back in my flow and yeah, got back to normal.
Have
But
you?
man, felt
Yeah.
that one in my stomach, yo. That was not fun. That was not fun.
Yeah, man, that looked miserable. Have you ever experienced a low blow like that before in
Oh yeah,
training?
no, but I did experience that in my pro debut. I was fighting a guy by the name of Roger Smith, um, and he's a southpaw, and I'm a righty. So you already know, like with the open stance, it gets crazy. And with that fight, I had actually forgot my cup at home. This fight was in Texas, so I forgot my cup at home back in Colorado. So we decided we was like, all right, well, we got to go get a cup. So we got a cheap little doctor or shock doctor cup from like Dick's And I was like, not thinking anything of it. And that was oh my goodness, that was terrible. That was terrible. That had me thinking like, damn, do I even want to be here anymore? Like, I don't even want to fight anymore. But that was definitely the second time, and I was, oh man, that just sucked.
So the one in the pro debut was worse than this one against Vince.
Oh yeah, but yeah, the pro debut was definitely worse. That was like, I'm telling you, I felt like I didn't even want to fight anymore. I was like, bro, like I don't even want to be here.
I think it was clear, watching this fight, Elijah, that your speed, your striking, that was the difference, and what got you over the hump and got you the win. Is that kind of what the game plan was going in here to kind of utilize your speed and elusivity in the fight?
Uh, yeah, we definitely knew that we were going to be the faster, more agile fighter. So to be able to just tag him up outside and uh, still continue on with the calf kicks because we've seen before he has hard time. Vince had hard times dealing with leg kicks, so that was something that we wanted to keep going. And when we found the time for the shots, you pick our double legs and all that stuff, and not forcing anything. But yeah, we knew that Vince, he was a tough guy, but he doesn't really do anything that's super special. He's not this world class kickboxer. He's not this. His boxing is good, but it's not great. Um, he doesn't have that real one punch knockout power, and he isn't like a Dagestan wrestler. So he's just like he's really good in areas, but he's not great in one thing. So to really game plan against somebody like that it was pretty straightforward. Just be smart with the defense and yeah, just pick them apart slowly but surely.
He did have you in some tough spots in the second round, a couple of submission attempts, man. Like how deep were those? How much trouble were you in?
That first starts was pretty tight. It was a point in time where I thought about tapping, but I was like, nah, not yet, not yet. I was like, man, you're gonna have to put me to sleep because nah, I just couldn't. And when I was able to get out of that, man, he did a really good job um on getting to the front headlock and switching up to the darts to the anaconda. And also, we knew that his go to. He loved that Peruvian necktie. I know he was trying to go viral with that, but I was like, nah, you can choke me out with any submission, but you're not getting me with that necktie. Although that Peruvian necktie that was also tight too. But we just in the gym, it comes down to are you doing your neck exercises? So we do a lot of, yes, no's, maybes, all that to strengthen up the neck. So if you get caught in that position, you can kind of work your way out of it, even if you're caught. But I just had to stay calm in those positions. Just know like just a little bit of air. That's all I need. It's just a little bit of air, and yeah, just stay calm and work through it, and we got out. Crazy.
When you're in deep spots like that too, like how important is it to be as calm as possible and to make sure like you're making the right move, right? To turn in or turn out, depending on what the submission is. Like I always hated like jujitsu and grappling. That was the worst part of training. I like striking and kickboxing. So when you're in a spot like that and you got someone as high level as Vince like on your back or just have you in a bad spot, like just run me through your mind what you try to do to stay cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah, so try to lower your heart rate down, control your breathing. And the reason why, you try not to the only time I would say to go berserk is if somebody has you in like a heel hook or something like that. That's the time where you gotta go crazy. But in these darts, arm triangles, you gotta really be smart because if you roll one way, you think you're going out, but it's getting tighter if you roll that way. So you gotta really feel the body movement and see which way is being is gonna make the choke tighter. So you just gotta be smart, work through it, and yeah, you gotta be tough. It takes toughness because some guys they get in these submissions, and I know most guys probably would have tapped.
Yeah.
But yeah, it comes down to just being calm and being tough. Because yeah, there was that point in time in that fight where he had me, and it was locked up. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't peel the hands. The only thing I tried doing was flattening out, but he eventually got the angle. But I just had to be tough. I just had to be tough.
I think you showed a lot of people that you got a ton of heart. You're going to be a tough out as you continue to move forward in the division. I think it was safe to say it was 1-1 going into the third round. Like what advice did you get from your corner as you entered round three?
Uh, the advice was he was ready for the outside cap kick. So my corner, they wanted me to go inside, but I couldn't really go inside because I hurt my foot. I don't know. I think I probably kicked his knee or something like that, my lead foot. So kind of dumped that out the window when they told me that. I didn't say that, but I was like, nah. But yeah, I knew coming out going into that third round, I knew it was probably one apiece, and I had to go out there and put on the pace. So that's why in the third round, we kind of came to the middle, and we kind of like threw like I just threw a combination. I was like, man, I'm trying to take you out. But as I started finding my timing a little bit more, and obviously after when I threw the uppercut, when I caught him with that nasty uppercut, um, I started finding my timing with the jab. So I was like, yo, we just got to keep fighting behind the jab. And every time I stick him, boom, boom, stick him with the jab, 1, 2, just keeping it real, really basic and not throwing anything wild to where I get caught. So just trying to stay smart with my defense and just keep it fundamental as possible with the boxing and kickboxing, still targeting the calf and then just lining them up with the jab, 1, 2s, and all that.
I was tired just watching you guys as you were getting ready to start the third round. Be honest with me, Elijah. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most tired as you possibly could, how tired were you entering the
I,
third?
I was like a 5. I wasn't. Yeah, I really wasn't tired. Not as tired as I was on the contender series, and that just showed like a lot of people that were talking about my gas tank, which is funny. I'm like, I don't really care, but I keep saying it. I was coming off a vacation. I was on a week and a half vacation out in Cali. I wasn't even training. I was eating, eating out, chilling, going to Universal Studios. Yeah, it was just a fun time. And then when I got back, that's when I got the call. So to prepare in that short amount of time was like, all right, well, I gotta do what I got. So now that they gave me a fight where I have a full camp, I was like, there's no way I'm about to go into this. I'm about to go into this fight, and the only way that Vince was gonna beat me was because he was better than me. Like he was skilled wise, not because I got tired.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, we did a lot of work. I worked with Chris Gutierrez up in Factury X, one of my main training partners this time around, who also fought Vince. Getting fresh guys each round, doing my track workouts, sprint workouts. Um, yeah, I was just more prepared. My diet was great. I was like, shit, weight cut went good. Yeah, so I really wasn't that. Yeah, I wasn't that tired at the end of
Okay.
the round or going into the third.
All right, fair enough. One last question I wanted to ask you at the very end of the fight, the choke that he had you in as the bell sounded. How deep was that? Was that a tough spot to get out of, or would you have been able to get out if you had more time?
Yeah, I felt like I would have been able to get out because it wasn't. I mean, it was tight. Don't get me wrong, but just the angle that he had, it was almost when I saw because I saw the clock before he lashed up the choke, so I really didn't care because I saw it was like maybe 10 seconds, maybe less than that, and I was like, he ain't got it. So I just decided to keep punching, but yeah, the angle that he had because he was sliding off, it almost would have turned into when I had the in the first round. No, it was in the second round when I got the rear naked choke, but I was sliding off. I didn't have the ankle. It was going to turn into that situation, and yeah, and the thing with the bulldog choke is that he crunched down. You got to crunch up with the bulldog choke. So yeah, that would have maybe if he would have crunch down like when Raquel Pennington when she got the bulldog choke, she was arching up, not
Mm.
down, because you wanna put all that pressure on the neck. So but it was a good attempt. I can't lie. It was a really good last ditch attempt. And I don't even know how he got it because he got my back. He tried to like suplex me down, and I was gonna slide out. And when I slid out the back, he grabbed my neck. I was like, ah, shit. I was like, well, all right, well, we're here now. Okay. But I felt like it gave like a roller coaster ride. This fight was
Mhm.
a roller coaster ride for a lot of my fans, my supporters, my team, and I'm pretty sure it's the same way for his team as well.
I thought that you guys were definitely in the running for fight of the night. I was hoping you get an extra 50 G's, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But maybe next time out, Elijah, you will get that. Tell me, what has life been like for you since, man? Have you had a chance to eat some good food and just kind of relax and process all this?
Yeah. I've been able to relax, get some bad food in me, some unhealthy stuff. But yeah, I'm already back in the gym. I actually today I'm gonna actually be going in to go help some guys. I'm gonna be sparring with some guys who got fights coming up. So I'm already back in the gym, uh, which is I'm happy to say because a lot of the times I haven't been able to be back in the gym that fast because I've either hurt my hand or hurt my knee or some sort. So I had to take a little bit of time off. But to be able to get back in there, especially after the fight that me and Vince had, it doesn't even look like I even had a fight. So, I thank God for that because, your health is the biggest thing when it comes down to the sport. So to really take care of your body and listen to your body, that's the biggest thing. But yeah, I'm ready. I'm already ready to get back in there. I said I wanted to get back in there maybe May or June, sometime summertime. Um, I'm all for it. Maybe they give me I think it was the first guy that they gave me before Vince was Cameron Saimann.
Ooh,
Maybe they give me Cameron Saimann again, and we can actually, get that fight rebooked. And I feel like that'd be an exciting one. Two young prospects. I think Cameron now he's 9-2. Uh, I'm 8-1. So yeah, it makes sense.
I like it. If that does happen next, how do you see that fight playing out?
I see that fight. I'm going out there and getting the finish. I don't see anything. I don't see Cameron. He doesn't have the power. I don't think he has the wrestling, nor the grappling to really keep up with me. And I feel like I dismantle him the same way, but probably even worse. I go out there. I've been saying I've shown the type of fighter that I am, but I feel like I haven't shown who Elijah Swift Smith is, and I need to go out there and go get a finish. So
I,
that's my whole goal.
I love it, man. And you're only 22 years old, Elijah. The future is bright. You have so much time left to reach your peak. How far away do you feel like you are? Before I know you're not a fortune teller. You can't look into the future and give me an exact date or time, but like, do you feel like you're close to hitting on all cylinders and being the best version of yourself, or is that 5, 6, 7 years down the line?
Ooh, I don't even think. Yeah, truth be told, I don't even think I'm like near being, firing on all cylinders right now. I think, man, yeah, I think give me like another year, maybe two. Oh yeah, yeah, by that time, I feel like I should be putting on the notice for the bantamweights and hopefully cracking into the rankings by then.
I would have no doubt, my man. Tell me about like your background. Obviously, your father fought professionally for a long time. He was in the UFC. When did you actually get into the sport and really start training full time?
I started training the summer of 2020. So I graduated from high school back in 2020, and yeah, there was nothing else to do. And my dad, he owns a gym, so it's just me and my pops in the gym since all the other gyms were closed down. And at first, I just did it just to stay in shape because I wanted to play football. That didn't work out, obviously, because of COVID. And during that time of training, we decided to take a fight, and yeah, that's what got it going. So without COVID, I don't know where. I feel like even if COVID didn't happen, I feel like I still would have found my way to MMA, but it probably would have just been later on down the road.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, something good to come out of COVID. That's fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm a huge football fan. I played back in the day in high school. Tell me, like, what kind of a player were you? What position? What were the aspirations like?
man, I played everything from. I mean, I want to say I played quarterback, but it wasn't really quarterback because sometimes I was a scat.
Scat
Uh,
back?
So but obviously running back was my number one, but played slot, played outside receiver. Um, I had a really good. I played safety. I didn't really play corner because corner wasn't my thing. I like to tackle, so I was kind of like you know, like a hybrid on defense. But I also played. I damn near played everything: kickoff, kick return. I was the man. I was the man. I ain't gonna lie. I was the man. People can look at you. Y'all can look up my. Yeah, it's still my huddle. You can go on Google, look up Elijah Smith. I play for Sierra Stallions, so y'all can look up my highlights. I ain't got a lot, but
Okay.
but my team wasn't good. I was good, but we weren't good, so I didn't get a lot of looks, which is why I was gonna go down to the JUCO route. And yeah, didn't work out. So I'm not mad about it.
Who are your favorite players to watch in the NFL today? And do you have a team? You have like a favorite team that you follow?
Yeah, my favorite team is the Niners, 49ers. And my favorite player right now to watch is just ooh, there's a couple, but I'll have to say Saquon. Saquon. Either Saquon or Christian McCaffrey when Christian McCaffrey is healthy. I think those two, I mean, you put them at any position, they can succeed at any position, especially Christian McCaffrey. You can put him at running back, you can put him at the slot, you can put him at the outside. You could do a bunch of things with Christian McCaffrey. So I like that versatile, that explosiveness, his speed. He just has it all. And he's from Colorado, so he's from Valor. Or yeah, he went to Valor Christian, so he's a Colorado boy.
He's got some ties to Maine, which is where I'm from. So I'm in New England. I'm a big Patriots fan. I gotta tell you, man, I feel relieved that Philly beat Kansas City because I was getting kind of sick of like the Patrick Mahomes is better than Brady thing,
Oh
just
yeah.
because like he's got so much more to accomplish. What's your take on like that? And people kind of. I hate to say like being prisoners of the moment. I mean, he's an all-time great, but to say he's better than Brady to me is just blasphemous.
To say that he's better than Brady, I would say he's not better than Brady right now. I would say he has the potential to be
Sure.
better than Brady, but as of right now, nah, not quite yet. Um, it's a weird thing because if you have Brady or Patrick Mahomes, and you're like, which one out of these quarterbacks would you take? I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably take Patrick Mahomes over Brady just because he's a little bit more athletic.
He
That's the only thing that makes me wanna that would make me wanna take Mahomes over Brady. But I don't think we can't put him up as a GOAT. We can't even put him up there in the GOAT GOAT debate. Still for me, it still goes Tom Brady. Tom Brady won, and then of course Joe Montana second.
Okay. I would agree. I think Peyton Manning is somewhere up there. I just think, Mahomes has got to accomplish a little bit more before we talk about that. And I agree with you
Yeah,
about he's a mobile quarterback. He's a dual threat. He can run. Brady wasn't a runner, but like he was the ultimate competitor. He could move around in the pocket really good and he avoided a lot of those big hits. And that's why I feel like
yeah,
his career went so long. I'll be interested to see if
I
the
agree.
same happens with Patrick.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I would like to see that happen. I would like to see, you know, Patrick Mahomes, one day hopefully surpass Tom Brady, because I think he has the talent to do it. Um, I just, I think this year I mean, they kind of got lucky going to the Super Bowl because I mean their O line was atrocious. I was like, geez, I don't know what happened. I mean, because during the season they looked great, but the Super Bowl, I mean, the Eagles they exposed them bad. So oof. And then after you got Travis Kelce, he's getting older. You don't know how much time he has left. So we'll see. We will see.
Yeah, Jalen Carter and that defensive line for Philly is no joke.
Dogs.
That they should all
Dogs.
be awarded the Super Bowl MVP. Uh,
Yeah.
to transition back a little bit to just you and your camp. Obviously, you train with your father at camp. Team Victory. You talked a little bit about Factory X. You got some working with El Guapo. What's that going to look like moving forward? Are you going to go back to Factory X and kind of get work at both places?
Hell yeah. Yep. We'll definitely, yeah, that relationship we're gonna keep building up on. Uh I love those guys. I mean, to even be on the same card as Yusuf, that was pretty dope. And to see him crack into the top 10 and beat Calvin Cater, I mean, he did it beautifully, not taking any damage, just picked him apart, just picked Calvin Cater apart, and people were talking about he was running and this and that. I'm like, dude landed more strikes, more significant strikes on Calvin. He made Calvin look like a rookie. And man, I mean, I thought the performance was beautiful. So I mean, Factory X, they have a the head coach Mark Montoya, he's doing a great job with those guys, and just to keep learning with those guys with Yusuf, Chris, David Onama, who else, Jonathan Martinez, all those guys, to learn from. It's especially it really helped me this fight camp. So I want to keep on with that relationship.
That's good, man. Yeah, they got a bunch of studs at Factory X. There's no doubt. I want to ask you real quick about the bantamweight division. What did you think of Marab's performance in beating Umar?
I thought that was a dog performance. Yeah. Yeah, and I thought Umar was gonna be the one to take Marab out. But yeah, that was a dog performance by Marab. His conditioning is crazy. To be his pace that he puts on people, it's draining. It's definitely tiring. I think the one thing that he does lack is just the finishing. I feel like if Marab was able to get more finishes, I feel like he would be even more a fan favorite. But he is a showman. He's really good at selling fights, and he's really good at his craft. Um, just from a fan standpoint, my standpoint, I like watching Marab, but I would like to see him go out there and get a finish.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's the only thing that's probably missing from his game, but because he doesn't have that one punch knockout. I really haven't seen him do get any submissions. I feel like he could get more submissions. Take the guy down, get to their back. Maybe arm triangle. Just do some more than just shoot 300,000 times in one fight. But yeah, I like Marab. I do.
Yeah, his nickname, the Machine. That's that for a reason. The guy's an absolute animal. Couple fight picks before we get out of here, Elijah. This weekend, Cejudo and Song is the main event. Who you got there?
I've been a super like when I first saw Song Dong. I've been a fan, so I got Song. I think Cejudo's time is closing. I think Cejudo made a mistake by retiring the first time and trying to come back. Because maybe Cejudo would still be in the mix, but I just think his time is up. So I got Song Dong, the newcomer. Well, I don't want to say the newcomer, but the new, I guess the newcomer. Yeah,
The the new wave. He's
yeah,
someone
the new
cracking.
wave. There
There
we
you go.
go.
Corey Sandhagen, Davison Figueiredo. That's around the corner too. How do you like that fight? Who wins it?
Man, I got Corey. I got Corey Sandhagen. I'm always riding for my Colorado guys. So yeah, Corey Sandhagen. He man, I don't know, he's really tricky and he's really slick on with his jiu-jitsu too. So if people are thinking like Figgy is just gonna take him down and submit him, that's something that Umar couldn't do. I feel like he did a pretty good job with Umar when Corey Sandhagen fought him. So I got my guy Corey.
I'm with you too. He can use that length. He's got those
Yes.
go gadget arms for
Yeah.
135. Last question for me, Elijah. You mentioned wanting to get in there again, May, June time. How many more fights this year would you like? Is it that and one more, or maybe you could get in three more before the end of the year?
Yeah, I would like to get 2 to 3 more, depending on how each fight goes, with no injuries. Um, the most fights that I've had in one year, which was last year, I've had 5 fights in a calendar year. I've always been pretty active in my career. I felt like this fight was probably the longest layoff I've had, and not because I wanted to. It's just because the UFC, they had already had their cards already played out, so I had to wait a little bit. Uh, so yeah, I like to stay active. I'm young. Don't have any injuries. Yeah, I like to get back in there.
Can't wait to see you back in there, man. And again, congrats on the win over Vince. That's quite a way to start your UFC career. So I know the fans are eager to see you back in action. Fantastic talking to you for the first time as well. I really appreciate it. Before we sign off, I want to give you the floor. If you have any sponsors or just anyone you want to thank in general, the floor is yours.
Yeah, definitely. I want to thank my main two sponsors, Trainwreck. They hosted the fight for my watch party for both my contender series and for my debut. And I want to give a shout out to the best underwear in the world, which is Sheath. Shout out to my boy Bobby and all obviously Colorado Victory MMA. Hey, we're coming up, guys. So keep following the process, the journey, and we got a bunch of more killers that are in that are in our gym, and just be on the lookout.